So, hey guys, you might have heard about Bitcoin being in the news every day, all day long for the last 2.5 years. So, like, so the first question that comes up is how do you start learning about Bitcoin, right? You have been a developer, you have been you have learned TSA, you have learned some part of coding, and now you want to look into Bitcoin, right? There is so many crypto news nowadays. It's super tough to get into one of the good programs in Bitcoin. But how do you start? Well, I think there is no better program than Summer of Bitcoin. And in this video, we are going to talk about this program specifically. So this is 2022. So we are going to talk about Summer of Bitcoin 2022. So, hey everyone, I'm Sandipan. In my senior year of college, I'm pursuing computer science engineering. I am already a Summer of Bitcoin graduate 2021. And so, apart from staying from the coronavirus, I do engineering work at Galoy, which is a Bitcoin banking startup. So, I'm in this Bitcoin space. Uh, well, and in Galoy, we think about the Lightning Network as the regular day to day transaction network, and we use the base layer Bitcoin for settlements. If you understand Bitcoin, you will know that there is a layer 2 scaling solution on top of it, which is Lightning. And at Galoy, we have had this pilot project called Bitcoin Beach running in El Salvador for more than 1.5 years. And I think there could be some influence on El Salvador because a few months back, El Salvador adopted Bitcoin as a legal tender. So, coming to some part of my journey, back in 2019, when I was a sophomore, I heard about Solidity. I kind of was super psyched to realize that blockchain is just my code. Well, is blockchain just my code? How does code create decentralization? Why can't someone just cheat? And if the same program gets executed in multiple computers, isn't this a waste of resources? And so I really understood that I don't know anything about what is a distributed consensus, and I don't have any idea what goes on in the network. And probably I'm not the only one who suffered from this. Like coming from at a super early stage, if you learn about Solidity, you don't understand anything. And many who switch to Bitcoin have a similar experience. But I can tell that probably stuff is changing with great tools like BDK and LDK. In 2020, as we all know, Bitcoin prices skyrocketed and it was gaining mass popularity. This was when I kind of truly understood Bitcoin, the proof of work algorithm, and how it kind of creates a storehouse of value. And in 2021, around April, I was scrolling LinkedIn when I found out about Summer of Bitcoin 21's post and quickly applied to it. Luckily, I got selected after passing the code challenge and a round of an interview. So, Summer of Bitcoin was truly a life changing experience for me. I met so many amazing mentors and super talented people out there. We learned so much about Bitcoin from protocol level to literally very big applications built on top of it. And it was the first time I made an open source contribution, and I learned about Git and GitHub. And I also landed a job offer at the current company that I am, Galai, with this Summer of Bitcoin experience and a great referral from Adam Jonas. So why does everyone shout about Bitcoin? So let's come to the basics. There should be some reason why El Salvador declared Bitcoin as a mandatory legal tender, right? Let's find out. And it's very hard. In the economy that we live in, money is a little bit flawed. Money, as we all know, the paper money. Let's talk basics. In the barter system, a rice farmer would sell rice and buy vegetables. But this works only if the other person who sells vegetables need rice. What if he needs something else, like let's say sugar? In such a case, the rice farmer would have to first exchange their rice with sugar and then sell that sugar for vegetables. To overcome this kind of proxy problem, the indirect barter system came into existence, where for the first time, gold was used as the common denominator. And gold was used in the exact same fashion as we use dollars and rupees today as a medium of exchange. Interestingly, gold as a resource is scarce. But is paper money scarce? I don't think so. Money should not be an abstract unit of claim with no innate value in itself. And this is what keeps happening with rupees, dollars, and most of other monetary notes. Early in early 1976, every country came off of the gold standard, wherein countries agreed to convert paper money into a fixed amount of Bitcoin before circulating the money around in their economy. Since this is now gone, governments technically have the right to print money at will, and thereby, governments can also inflate at will in the name of circulating more money into the economy, which is bad, right? Recently in India, we also have had cases of, for example, PMC Bank, who couldn't return the depositors' money when a scam probably came out. But the main problem is that why should this happen? Banks are just supposed to keep our money and return it jab bhi we ask for it back, right? And foundational problems like these cause massive inflation where and we have seen the extent of such inflation, right? In the iconic economic crash of 2008. So this is bad, right? We need to find a solution to problems like this. Fortunately, in 2008, was this amazing person, or probably a group of people called Satoshi, who created Bitcoin. So from 2008 to now, Bitcoin has continued having the highest market cap, and most people have kept their money in Bitcoin among other cryptocurrencies. Ethereum came in at a strong second position. Well, so now that we know some problems about conventional currency, let's get to know how Bitcoin solved these problems, right? Verifying that somebody is spending money that they own is not really that difficult and can be solved by means of simple public key cryptography. It is the same technology that powers WhatsApp end-to-end chats. The more important problem over here is that of double spending. So let me explain what that is. Let's say Alice has 100 rupees and she creates two transactions using the same 100 rupees note, one to Bob and one to Charlie. In the real world, Alice will not be able to send the same rupees 100 to both of them, and that should happen in the digital world as well, right? So since both the transaction use the same rupees 100 input, either one of them should be accepted and the other one rejected. Whatever should be accepted should come first in the history of transactions, such that we can determine the second time it's going to be double spent. The solution to this is to accept that first transactions and discard the other. But the problem over here is that the acceptance of the first transaction, so let's say the first transaction is that of Alice to Charlie, should happen globally. That means everybody in the entire world needs to agree that Alice spent their coins to Charlie first and Bob's next. How do you do that? Right? This is the main problem that Bitcoin solves. This is the distributed consensus algorithm. So that's the problem, right? How do we establish this trust? And that's where Bitcoin shines with its glorious proof of work algorithm. In short, in Bitcoin's proof of work algorithm, all computers on the Bitcoin network race to solve a difficult cryptographic problem, with random winners occurring every 10 minutes on average. The winner produces a block that has the solution to this cryptographic problem that everyone was trying to solve, and anybody could verify that this is a valid block. Blocks contain transactions and the history of the transactions. And this history of transactions is agreed upon by the entire network. Why? So the blockchain that has the most number of blocks is the most trusted because it has the most amount of work attached to it. Since it has the most amount of work attached to it, the history of these blocks will create the history of transactions. Hence, in case an adversary was trying to double spend their coins, they would have to produce and keep up with generating the latest block so that it is the most trusted in the consensus, which is practically impossible unless you have more than 51% control of the global hash rate. In the legend's own words, we don't have to worry about a chain of custody of communication. It doesn't matter who tells you a longest chain, the proof of work speaks for itself. So now that I hope you're excited about Bitcoin, here's the best program in the world right now to get your hands dirty with Bitcoin: Summer of Bitcoin. At Summer of Bitcoin, you will not just learn about Bitcoin, you'll get to meet the top minds and world class mentors who contribute to Bitcoin. You will learn so much about open source and contribute to the repository of your choice. And the best part, you'll get to earn some Bitcoins too. This is the rough flow of the program. First, you'll need to apply at Summer of Bitcoin. There are 2 tracks for you to apply to, which I'll talk about in the next slide. After you apply, you'll have to go through a round of screening, after which you can get in. Screen students will get access to a list of resources to learn about Bitcoin, which should involve the chain code seminars and probably a few books. One of those books will be what government has done to our money, which is an amazing book, and some podcasts probably. In the initial few weeks, the screen students will have to submit a project proposal. So, what's a project proposal? It's like there will be some projects that Summer of Bitcoin will be working with, and you're going to choose a project proposal. You're going to find a project which goes at par with you, and then you're going to write a project proposal to improve or write some test for that project, right? And if that gets accepted, you will be working on that specific project for around the next 3 months, contributing real code or designs to the project, because there is a designing track this time. You're going to see it on the next slide. Finally, depending on the performance analysis by the mentors and overall participation, students with really exceptional performance will be referred into great companies for a career in Bitcoin. There are 2 program tracks this year. If you have a computer science background, doesn't mean just computer science department. If you know coding in general, you can apply to the developer track, wherein the screening round, I guess, will happen on InterviewBit, and it's going to happen that you have to answer some coding questionnaires, basic DSA and stuff, I guess. And for the design enthusiasts out there who develop great user interfaces, you can apply with your portfolio on the designer track. In there, you will be assigned a design assignment for the screening round. This program is limited to just university students, by the way. And for applying to this program, you have to be in a college or university at the time when you are applying. So if even if you're in your 4th year right now, you will be able to apply. Here are the things that you will receive if you do Summer of Bitcoin. You'll get to learn in depth about the complete Bitcoin protocol. You'll talk with super talented mentors out there doing top of the line Bitcoin projects, and you will get a personalized guidance into contributing to these projects. And of course, for the work that you will be doing, you're going to get some Bitcoins, which amount to $3,000 in fiat. But most importantly, if you perform really good enough, you will get return offers to Summer of Bitcoin for the next year, like me. And there are like a lot of people who got in this time once again. And also, you will be referred into Bitcoin companies and startups. So yeah, that's Bitcoin, Summer of Bitcoin in a summary. If you are excited to apply, this is the link, summerofbitcoin.org/apply. It will be in the description down there. And yeah, take the orange peel, guys. You will really never regret it. That's it. That's an extremely brief overview of Bitcoin and Summer of Bitcoin. If you want to talk about Bitcoin and startups in general, hit me up. I am at Sandipan Dev everywhere. Hope I have been able to convince you that Bitcoin is going to be a thing. If you do own any Bitcoin, don't forget to hold on for dear life. And thank you. Thank you for watching this video. If you have questions, drop down comments. And if you like this video, drop a like. Bye.